So Kimbo, you were offered the fight
Yes.
after a loss, and for people that don't know about Kimbo Slice, he was Scott Coker called him the internet sensation, which I think is a horrible phrase, but a true phrase, because he built himself up off millions and millions of watches on YouTube with these backyard brawls, bare knuckle brawls that were pretty vicious, and they built him up and put him on television. And I mean, you said that was the most watched fight of all time.
At one point.
I mean,
yeah,
it was massive as far as the size.
Now, the thing is with Kimbo, whoever was marketing him, I was like, Jesus, why didn't I do that? Why didn't I go to a barbecue with a couple of fat kids, give him a few slaps, get it on YouTube, first million, and he comes in his first fight, Ray Mercer or someone like that, I think he got 60 to 80,000 for his first fight. Now, after that, he was getting sponsorship, and I think fair play to him. He's using, like I did with the Gong and Dash.
Yeah.
I didn't have much, but I used what I had. So anyone who does that, Kimbo used what he has. You know, good striking. He was a solid guy, tough guy, and he used what he had. Now, Elite XC put all their eggs in one basket. All their eggs in one basket, because it takes time to learn. This is what Pudzianowski didn't really realise, and I knew he wouldn't realise because I'd been through what he'd been through, and that was bigger is not necessarily better depending on your frame. So when you start loading on all that muscle and you're like that, it's hard work, especially when you're doing 2-3 rounds of MMA, and you might think, right, it doesn't translate. I mean, you do functional strength exercises and get strong, you know, great, but bodybuilding training does not translate to MMA.
Did that take you a while to realize that?
Yes, it did, because I didn't do bodybuilding like do the shows, but it was always, I did definitely have bigorexia, so it was definitely and when I realised,
What's bigorexia for people that don't know?
I think it's opposite to anorexia, where you're looking at yourself and you never feel big enough, and I'd say practically all bodybuilders have it. All that you, I like bodybuilding, and well, I don't like it, but I respect it because it's hard in a different way, but you've almost got to be ill to do it. You've got to be I don't want to say self-obsessed in a, like, literally, but you have to be so, which like any sport, I suppose, but bodybuilding really is about what you look like.
It's because it's vanity. I
Well,
mean, it's an image at the end of the day,
It's got
I guess,
to be
as opposed
that.
to a fight.
Yes.
But it still takes, obviously tremendous commitment.
It really does.
So you basically were in this Kimbo fight. They had put all their eggs behind Kimbo because
Yeah.
Kimbo was going to be the success of the organization, really.
That's it.
And then you're brought in. Do they treat you like you're the stepchild?
They ignored me. Like, well, I did a phone call, conference call, and I kind of forgot I was on there. I was kind of just listening, and no one really directed any questions towards me. And someone said to Gary Shaw, that fat slug of a man, he said, what would you do if Thompson won? And he said, I'd hang myself, and then laughed. And I thought, fucking hell.
This is the CEO of the company
Yeah,
at the time.
this is
This is
it, and I
before
thought,
Coker.
Wow.
Jesus. All
You'd
right.
hang yourself.
But when you actually got to the competition, they can't really stack it against you. But the media is obviously
Wow.
for him.
This is what I found out through that fight. The judges, he had it he was a boxing promoter, Gary Shaw.
Okay.
Now, he put the fight in New Jersey because that's where he was a boxing promoter. So he had friends there. Now, the judges, he had like 2 judges, and if you watch the fight, the second round is all me. And on
I
the
seem to
first round,
recall there was like an unprecedented number of unreturned strikes given. I think there was questions
Yeah.
asked afterwards, wasn't there? There was sort of like 42 unanswered strikes.
The stats were in question.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
but-
that the referee allowed.
the first round was 10-9. Everyone did it 10-9 to me. The second round gave it 10-8 to me because, like you say, with the stats and that. One judge, his friend who lived down the road from him, who he put in, did it 8-10 to him, which is unbelievable. So
hard
if
to
you,
do.
it's unbelievable.
Were you
It's so-
grounding and pounding him and that?
Yeah,
second
yeah.
round?
I did trap. Now I didn't have much on my elbows. In all honesty, there wasn't much there to them. And if I look back, people say, "Oh, they should stop the fight," and I say, "Well, yeah, I see why they said, but there wasn't much on my shots. In all honesty." And he came back, and when they stopped the fight, he bust my ear and he had me on the ropes.
Right,
I didn't have much left, but then he didn't have much left, and that's the fight. That's what you see.
So the third round, you're both very, very tired. You come
Yes.
in, your ear is all cauliflowered up. Was that a training injury?
Well, it was, and I was getting it drained. Now, like I mentioned before, London Shoot, great team. Now, this is what they said to me. I said, it came up in training. I said, should I drain my ear? And they said, no, it could get infected. Now, the chance it can get affected, the chances of it getting infected are very small, very, very small. But they say, listen, there's no point taking the chance of it getting affected, because if he bursts it, they burst it. It's not going in your eyes. They won't stop the fight. And that's exactly what they did. Stop the fight because it was an excuse. Now, the referee, Dan Blockhead, whatever he's called.
Mergliata.
Yeah. He it wasn't fixed. I don't think they paid him any money, not that. But what I believe, they were screaming, like all through the fight they were screaming, stand up, stand up, stand them up, stand them up. I got to side control, I just got there, they stood the fight up. I took another load of whack. That can change the whole course of a fight, just that. And I took another load of whacks before I got him on the floor again. So I think subconsciously, all them people shout, well, especially the CEO who just said he'd hang himself if I'd win, all that kind of pressure mounts up.
So your ear busted. So Kimbo Slice, your ear busted. There's blood everywhere, and you think Mergliata just freaked out?
Yeah,
and
I mean,
stopped that?
if you look at my eyes, he caught me, and I will tell you honestly, he caught me, and I was on my last legs. I was, and he might have knocked me out. I don't know. And that's what annoys me, because that's what a fight is. He might have knocked me out.
Yeah, but you weren't out. I watched it last night.
I wasn't out. No. And Kimbo was dead in the water as well.
Yeah.
One takedown with 2 rounds up, I don't know. Nobody knows. And he took it away. So
you slapped Mergliata.
Yeah. And
did you get fined for that?
No, but he said...
It's very rude.
Yeah, it was a little bit. I went to talk to him afterwards to apologise with an axe, but I couldn't find him. He said to me, which annoyed me as well, he said, I stopped the fight, I'm not pressing charges, but I'm not going to put a complaint in because I think James thought I was Kimbo. That pissed me off so much more. That's so annoying. I didn't think you were... Well, I thought you were a black man with a beard. Do you know what I mean?